Okay. So absolute value. Okay. So moving away from inequalities for like I think 2 days, and then we're gonna come back to them. Does anybody remember what an absolute value is? Oh, okay. I thought I heard you.
Were you lying?
What?
That you're okay?
Yeah, anywhere. Yep, Miss Shelby.
When there's like the 2 lines on the outside of like a negative number, it's positive, and when they're outside of a positive number, it's still positive.
Okay, so the symbol is the 2 bars, and you basically said these 2 lines do what to the number?
Make it positive.
Yeah, make it positive. Okay, makes the number positive. Yeah, so you said it was like absolute value of -2 would equal what? But then if it's the negative absolute value of 2 would equal
Negative 2 because negative is outside.
yeah, negative outside, absolute value of 2 is still 2, negative in front of it. Okay, but we need to solve equations with absolute values. Okay, so we know how to simplify like numerical absolute value equations that are absolute equations. So we're going to have a variable inside the equation. So then how does that work? So I could have like absolute value of x minus 1 equals 5. Okay, so we know what the symbol does, but do you remember what it actually represents?
How far is from 0?
Okay, so when it's written in this form, we should remember it's the distance from 0. So if I think about it on a number line, my distance is going to be represented by 5. So from my starting point, I can either go 5 to the right, or I could go 5 to the left. Does anybody want to guess what my starting point actually is? Yeah, so we're going to take the whole expression, x minus 1, not just the 1. Okay, so distance is always positive, but when we're going to write our equation, since I'm going to the left here on my number line, we're going to actually be -5. Okay, but even though I'm putting the negative sign, I have 2 equations. One in the positive direction, x minus 1 equals 5. One in the negative direction, x minus 1 equals -5. So with absolute value equations, we should have 2 solutions because we can go forward and we can go backwards. Maybe? We'll see. We'll do them, and we'll see. So I have the absolute value of x equals 3. So let's just not even think about distance from 0. What are the possible values that I can plug in for x? I'm just guessing a number. Is the absolute value 9? Okay. So I could plug in 3. Absolute value of 3 is 3. And Shelby says -3. I could do absolute value of -3. Is also equal to +3. Are there any other numbers I can plug in? Okay. So we get out 2 solutions. So if I thought of it on my number line, again, so my starting value is x. I could have went 3 to the right. So x equals 0, or x equals 3. Or I could have went 3 to the left. So x equals -3. Possibly. Okay, what about this one? That.
Put the 1 inside with the negative outside.
Yeah, so technically I can only substitute something inside the absolute value. So you want to do the 1 inside and negative outside. I don't have anything I can plug out here. Like I don't have the variable that I can place in. Yeah, so technically there's no number I could plug into this to get a negative number out. Because we know absolute value changes the number to positive, so technically our positive equal a negative, which we know not even possible no solution. Okay, so we've seen one case where we have two solutions. We've seen another case that we have no solutions or zero solutions. Does anybody know when we would get out one solution? Because it is possible.
When the negative sign is outside of the one.
Like right here.
Yeah. But you said there's no number that. No, but the equation, if it's already there in the equation, you just can't add it.
Okay, so if you're saying I had negative x equals negative 1. Yeah. So let's just do that. What would the solution be for us? I could do 1. Absolute value is 1, but the negative still, so negative 1. Yeah, I could still do negative 1.
If you
Because
do,
absolute value changes to positive 1, still negative.
if you do 0, would you have one solution? Negative 0 is still 0.
Right. So one solution occurs if we're equal to 0. Because 0 isn't positive or negative, so then I only get one solution of x equals 0. 0 is the only number I can plug in for x. Okay. Anybody confused yet? Perfect. More complicated. Okay. So then we have this guy. We actually have an expression in here. We could still do the same thing. So like picking numbers I can plug in for x to get out a positive 8. So I could still guess and check. Or I could think of it algebraically instead of equation. Okay. So I think that I stay on the positive side. So on a number line we're going the positive direction, 8. So I can have x minus 4 equals 8. So Shelby already said she wants to add 4 because she wants to get x by herself. Right? So x is
Or 12.
right. And I could always check it. 12 minus 4 is 8. Absolutely is 8. But we know we can also move in a negative direction. So I can set my expression on the left side, x minus 4, equal to negative 8. And I can solve it that way. Add 4. Yeah. And I could always check it. Negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8. Absolute value of negative 8 is 8. So it does check out. So these are the two correct solutions. Okay. Here's a more interesting one. Yeah, so what's different about this one is this lovely positive 4 thing situation, right? So before you do anything, before you think about it on a number line or write two equations with positive and negative, combine like terms these 9 and 4 together. So do anybody know why I cannot combine 4 and 3 together?
Because it's not an absolute value.
Yeah, so I think of it, they're not like terms. This is inside the absolute value, this is outside. So it can't be combined. You have like a line breaking it away from each other. So I agree. Minus 4, beautiful. So then absolute value of 2x plus 3 is equal to 5. So this is where we are at with the other one. So I want to write my two equations before I actually try and solve it.
2x plus 3 equals 5 and 2x plus 3 equals 9.
Yeah. Right, so I have my positive equation and my negative equation. Okay, I didn't want to subtract 3 right here because technically it's not like terms, so that's not legal. Okay, but we still want to subtract 3. Yep. So then 2x equals 2.
Or you divide by 2.
Yeah, divide 2, so x equals. Okay. The other one. Okay. So 2x is. Okay. So these are my two solutions. We can always check it. If I plugged in 1, 2 times 1 is plus 3. Absolute value of 5. Plus 4. Check. And then this was negative 4, so then 2 times negative 4 is plus 3. Absolute value of negative 5. Plus 4. Got the right answer. Okay. Last but not least. Okay. Minus 6 to combine like terms. No.
Right, you're trying to finish the equation.
Is that what everybody wants to do?
Combine and
Okay. We'll see.
minus 3 equals 4.
We'll have to do it. So let's just check this one really quick before they do the other one. So we have negative 7, which is actually positive 7, and positive 7 minus 3. 4. Absolute value of 4 is
4.
plus 6. Huh. So why did that not work? Does anybody know? Yeah, negative x is different, but that's not why it didn't work. Chase, what did you say?
It's a problem that has no solution.
And how do you know?
Because when you checked it, it didn't.
Okay. So when you checked it, this one didn't work, so you say no solution. But I should check the other one. Maybe this other one would work. Okay, so let's just solve it so that way we can check it, see if this one works or not. Divide. So let's check this one, just to see. So it's negative 1 minus 3. Absolute value of negative 4. Plus 6. So that one doesn't work either. So since neither of them work, it should be no solution. But technically we could have known this before we even solved this.
Because it equals negative 4.
Now what does this technically represent? Yeah, distance from 0, and I can't technically travel a negative distance. Now I see that, like, if you're driving a car, you would drive forward, your odometer racks up miles. If you would drive in reverse, you're still adding miles to your odometer. So it should always be a positive distance when you're doing absolute values. So basically, whenever your absolute value is equal to negative, always no solution, right? So once you see this, you can just stop and you don't even need to do this part, you just write your freedom. Okay, so, homework. 6 or 16. So, absolute values today, absolute values tomorrow. Since this whole chapter is about inequalities, we're doing absolute value inequalities. Wednesday and just to get back to what we technically have been doing this whole chapter. Yay. Okay. Go on, Bentley. Oh, that's fine. Does anybody need this anymore?
What?
You're good with this, the notes?